Okay, so we're going to be going over our weekly plays. This is the weekly recap for our strat setups on the weekly. We had a couple inside weeks. We can take a look at them right here. So we had BBY go inside, break above 168, and break below 95.23. What we do is usually confirm a 1 hour to 2 hour, depending on what the strength of the stock and the time frame continuity, what we get. Um, for confirmation to go long or short. So here you get a 1 hour. The 2 hour is pretty similar, but 1 hour gives you a little bit better entry. So your 1 hour entry would be to go long right here at 101.06. You'd be looking to go into resistance, so you'd be selling up at this line right here, so 102.53. Nice little swing. Let's see, you would only hold this roughly a day, just a little over a day. Basically into the next day, which is pretty good, all things considering, and pretty good swing. If you held a couple, you could get a little more out of it, maybe even average down based off of this, as we teach in a couple of our videos. But yeah, pretty good channel here for PBY. The next one was GME, kind of similar situation. We get in at just 117.19. And we immediately kind of go up, and this is holding from February 9th. You'd be holding to the next following day, the 10th of the morning, or even a little bit more if you were holding for a little bit bigger move. But basically, if you didn't, this was a nice $10 move on GME. So really good move on there. That's easily 300% on premiums. Lucid, we had some interesting continuity issues because we had just hit some exhaustion here and entered into a demand zone. So what we do is we flip to a higher time frame for confirmation, which actually triggered today. So we are technically still in this trade. If anyone did take it, we would still say it's valid. We did break down below this channel, so the next area that we're looking for would be right around 25.10 and then 24.14. So about $1 off the next two. So we'll see how that pans out. NRZ. We haven't traded NRZ, which is New Residential Investment Corp. We haven't traded this in quite some time, and so here's what we saw. So what we saw, as I was saying, just it's in a down channel, obviously a downtrend, but we were getting these kind of peaky pushes. So if we get rid of, let's just get rid of our parallel pivots here, and let's just take a look and see what we can see as far as a natural chart. Let's go ahead and get rid of the cup formation as well. So a natural chart here, if I'm drawing out something, I'm looking over here and looking up here. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me draw that again right here. Gosh, the magnet on TV only works half the time. Okay, there we go. And down, lower down here. So into our week, I'm looking for, this is a semi-broadening range. I'm looking to go to the top of the broadening range off the breakout of the inside week. So what we get here is a breakout, a pretty big one, even off slight miss. Even though it's red, it's a pretty good earnings. So you go up, you shoot up here from 1040 to 1083, and again, the stock doesn't move all that much. So the premiums are actually, if you take 25 contracts, you're gonna make a good chunk here. This was about a 15% or 14.5%, I think it was. I'm not positive. Maybe even 24.5%. From our entry here at 1083 all the way up to 1094, looking for that 11, which we did get. We got 11 basically to the penny up here, and you could have re-added down here as it touched and went back up. So this is a decent swing as well. Tesla, oh man, Tesla's down $44 today. I didn't even realize that. Tesla didn't trigger for us on the inside week. It did today, but I did not personally get in on the action today for this. So if we're looking at Tesla with just a natural chart, what I'm seeing is it's just no broad information. We had severe consolidation here, and then we obviously, if I turn back on this auto pivots, we're in a clear downtrend. So if you did enter, you're looking probably down here for 836, and then even below that 793, and then on downward. So that's the next take profit area. On the daily with Tesla, I believe we did trigger out we triggered out a 2-2 volume rev. So what I call that is like a rev is a car revving, like volume's kicking up and we're going down. So I fully expect this to play out to 790, the 790s, if not at least to the 827. So we'll see. Unity Software was our last one. This one was a pretty easy one to navigate. We got our trigger. We failed. Wow, I don't know why that just happened. We failed the trigger up here. And why is it doing that? Sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Draw this back out, and then flip to the 1 hour. Okay, so we got the failed touch up here, and then we did cross it right here. So our entry was 111.55, and we were just playing to the top range, which you could have gotten out here at 115, $4 move, or up here at the EMA 118. So that was a 220% play, I believe, holding all the way up there, depending on the premium movement. Really, really solid moves this week. We didn't have a huge list, but in my opinion, very, very good. Very good moves. So those were the weekly ones. I wanted to go over a couple other things that I saw this week with SPY, specifically on the daily. We broke, so we had this kind of cup formation. We had a really weird inverted cup where we got this. Here, let me just flip it on. I don't know if it's going to trigger. Yeah, so we had this weird inverted cup. We had this handle coming and forming, and I said yesterday that if we broke below 446, 447 range, we would definitely see a quick flush, and that's exactly what happened today. Obviously, news helped a little bit, but 440 was basically the area right here. So the bottom of this zone right here on this handle, I fully think that we can see more downside down to the 420. I really want to see 420 get hit and break and go down to 400, but that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. But we can hope and we can see. We did have, two peaks here, kind of rolling over in the cup formation. So it was a good setup. It was a double top on a handle, really easy short. And then AMD was another one. Oops, I'm sorry. AMD was kind of the last one we were looking at with this. We were long on it right here after this, during this outside day. So we got in like 125 expecting 132, and that got hit almost the top of this range perfectly. And the next day we had a 2 up, 2 down, so we were swinging this down. I ran an AMD contract from 127-ish down to 115, I think it was. No, 119, sorry. So there's a nice $10 move on that, which is, I think it was 175%, because I had averaged down, so it wasn't the full move, but it was a good one. I know ADEX hit 550% on that, I believe, on this trade today, just today alone. So really good stuff. We also have volume increased. So a lot of volume came back into the market today. Not on every ticker, but a lot of them. So we'll keep our eyes on stuff next week as news develops as we go forward. Yeah, so if you guys aren't in the room, in the community, definitely think about joining, because these swing plays, I mean, we're darn near 100% on them since inception, which was like four or 5 months ago at this point. So we know what we're doing. We trust the strat. We know how to pick them. We look at volume. We look at a couple other things. We don't just pick every inside day. We don't just pick every 2 up, 2 down. We really take our time and pick the right ones so that we know that we're going to be winners. Um, and then I wanted to go over to finish. One last thing was the Amazon trades today. So we've talked about this in the past, how if we're 2 down on the day and we see weakness in the market and kind of bad news surrounding the market, we play these a little bit differently. Usually we look for a top range VWAP tap and a reversal down on a 2 down. But because we were so heavy with the volume today to the downside, we actually got a trigger on the algo to go short here, right at open. So which, if you did that, it was a nice move. I mean, you'd be right in. But here's what I wanted to do was talk about the VWAP. So when we talk about VWAP, we use it for multiple different purposes. We use it for rejections, we use it for support, we use it for trailing stops. So let's take a look at this. So right here is where we went short. Where the heck are my tools? Okay. At 3154.31, we broke. Okay, so we broke it. We entered short right here, and we went all the way down here. And we never got out fully. We had multiple contracts. So this right here was about, I think the contracts went from 1900 to 2600, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And then we came back up and we hit the VWAP here, right? And what happens? So we go 2 up, 2 down, and we're not at an actual deviation yet, so we're not like above VWAP. So I know sellers are still in control, but I'm looking for potential pushback down because, for one, our algo is telling us it's still in the seller's control. We're 2 down on the day, so we have time frame and algo confluence. So when this went 2 down but didn't flush, I looked to see what the next candle would do. So we got identical candles here. So I added on this one right here. So I had 1, I added 2, and then we flushed, right? So then I said, okay, I'm looking for, as this was moving down, I'm looking for right here. I got that. So that's 2 trades. Okay, 1, 2, and I'm not done. That was only 600 per contract, I believe. We get another 2 up into the VWAP. Failed. All the way down to where? A lot of people don't like chop, but I kind of like it because it gives me some zones. Sometimes, not all the time. All the way down, another 600 per contract. Actually, I think those were a little more because once you repeatedly move to a zone, they can move differently. So then I had 5 total, took 3 off. Took 1 off there, so I have 1 left. And this is what I really wanted to talk about. The reason I didn't immediately take everything off was because we kept rejecting this VWAP, right here. Our envelope was moving down, our algo was moving down, so this is telling me that I can trail this, right? So I took this all the way down to the deviation. I thought about getting out there. I didn't. I let it move sideways, push back down. Move sideways, push back down. We are now deviating so far from the VWAP. Push back down, boom. Push back down, boom. Push back down, boom. Then, at the end of the day, we started pushing down, but we started distancing ourselves from the deviation here because we kind of wrote it up here. And we started moving sideways and distancing ourselves from it and the envelope. What I looked for here was to see if we could reclaim a new high, which we did not until the very last thing. So I got out here, which was contracts went from, I believe they went from the initial 22 to about, you know what, let me just look real quick because I want to tell you this correctly. They went from, apologize for the delay, should I have this ready? Yeah, so they went from entry was 22 and they went all the way to 65. So roughly 4 to 5 grand per contract, which doesn't happen every day, but after you take 1, 2, 3 trades and accumulate a little P&L, you can play with these longer ones and use a trailing stop. So that's why I wanted to talk about that today, because I know a lot of people ask me, where's your stop loss? Are you just doing one contract? Are you doing multiple and you just take them all out and all in at the same time? Another thing with this little one right here, the spar closed above our algo line. So I told myself, okay, this could potentially pop, which it did. So it was a good place to get out. Um, so that was the trades for the week, and this was the trade for the day. I think our GAO, our gain on account for the week, was 34% or 43%. I don't have it in front of me, but it was a really good one. It was a choppy, horrible week in the beginning, so lucky to get out alive on that stuff. So stick around for our watch list, join our Discord, make sure you guys are in all that stuff, and make sure that you guys are um, basically just getting ahead of the game and understand that we're here to help and here to educate. We're going through our 60-day program right now where we're teaching everybody the strat and teaching the ins and outs of everything. So if you want to be part of that, go ahead and join. Links down below. Appreciate you guys.